Yeah, so our Trace's live sale will be Trace only. It'll be Thursday night, and the sale time is going to be 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central on CCI. We will be in Lebanon for the sale, but there will be we won't take any of our pigs there for the Trace live sale. They'll still be here at the barn. So the pigs will not be there, but we will sell them on picture down there. Kevin Wynn, of course, the best in the business, will be auctioneering our sale. And we'll have a meal that'll be there at about 6:45 Eastern time, and then we'll start there. We got about 50 head, consisting of crosses and Durocs, both bears and gilts, and I think that we do have a boar pig or two that is rather interesting to look at. So those will be. We'll kick off the big weekend in Lebanon. It'll be Thursday night, the 12th of February. We'll start right there at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on CCI, and then preceding us, there'll be a full week of activities down there with the Sweethearts and the Coalition Group, along with the goat sales.
Yeah, and just maybe add a couple things just to say that this is the event, our big event,
Yep.
and we take it extremely seriously. So from the standpoint of trying to group up our better sows, get them mated right, we target this event. And, and then we call hard. I think, like Justin said, we're going to have about 50 head represented. These will be what we consider all these pigs could fit, from jackpots to expo to those summer shows in the state fair. And then there's a few pigs that are going to stretch and be able to be fed into the fall. So there's kind of a wide array. But in terms of quality, these are about as best as we can do. We're very proud of the set of pigs. We just got done going through them, and I think it's very, very deep. So,
yeah, and we'll have preview times. There'll be one preview every night here, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then we'll preview at 2 o'clock on Thursday so we can get our guys down to the start of the sale. So if we can help you in any way, please reach out. And as Blake said, we'll have about 50 head to sell there on Thursday night to kick off a big weekend in Lebanon.
Thank you. Continuing on with these 56 litter pigs, 56-2 cross boar. This is a Kong, buckle up, nothing to hide.
Yeah, this is a pig that comes, again, out of a very deep litter. And again, I think this one looks like a feeder's dream to me. He's very proportional. He's short-backed. He's got a very, very big feet, a loose hind leg. That one is stout and dense about his features. His jaw, his forearm, he's got a big hind leg. And again, to get these things that don't always work, to get them to 250, 300 pounds later on in the summer, this is a pig that's going to be able to do that. Very, very loose constructed. He comes out of a good litter. I think for this pedigree, there's all kinds of bone and foot size that reads in this pedigree. This thing's a very good looking for a Kong, and just in terms of his head, his neck, his elevation. And again, I think one that he goes to higher weights and can be awful competitive.
We're early on here in the preview, and I tell you what, this one hits me about as hard as anything. I don't know how the rest are going to look as we drop them through, but 56-2 certainly would be on my top of my short list right there. 56-2, Kong, buckle up, nothing to hide. 56-1 comes into the ring here first from this deep litter of 56s. They would be Kong, buckle up, nothing to hide, and the mom would have came from Stolquist, would have won Jasper County Fair that Rotoball Kids would have shown. Heck of a way to start off this litter, Freddie.
Yeah, very good pig here, and certainly we think one of our sale highlights here. He still is intact, but I think Barra Supreme here. This whole litter is good. They're very proportional, stout and dense. You start at this one's jaw, his forearm. He's got big feet. He's got a very big hind leg, and yet, in the big ring, Blake, it takes something that is proportional to put all those parts and pieces together. And I think of the ones that we're offering here in the Trace sale, this one does it extremely well.
You need to have those big pieces, and I think particularly with the Indiana State Fair judges, you got to have bone. And this one does have that. He's got hair, he's got bone, and he's about as stout as you can get him. So good way to start, 56-1. 56-6, cross gilt. It's a Kong, buckle up, nothing to hide.
Yeah, and again, we set it on these other 56. This is a very good litter. There's 6 pigs that are going to be offered here, and I like this gilt. This is a big ring show gilt right here. I think just in terms of one that's got added look, that pedigree reads with stoutness, and this gilt's got that right now. But again, in order to show those ones and win there and those heavier divisions, you got to start with something I believe like this, or that's what's worked well for our families when we show height to shoulder. I think for a Kong buckle up, head and neck is very elite in that regard. She's proportional. She's awesome colored, and yet very, very flexible off of both ends of her skeleton while still maintaining width. A litter we're high on. I think that one, in the middle of summer, could be awful competitive.
Deep litter, and I knew, we put 6 in here, and we try to be very, very critical and only put those that we think can feed to the higher levels. This one kind of blows me away, and like Justin said, color, just presence. She's got all the things that you got to have in a big time show gilt. 56.6, Kong, buckle up, nothing to hide. 52-1, cross bore. We'll get started on these 52s. They are one ways, wide awake, tricked out. That 15-12 would be a litter mate to 99 problems, and then she would also be the mom of Snap That, and has done a lot of good things for us, and in not only herself but in her daughters.
Yeah, we could talk a long time about this pig, just looking at him visually and what we've thought of him. But the pedigree work, I think, is done. As we've said, the one ways every time we're breeding, send 8 to 10 doses of it, and we're doubling down even harder on one way than we did in the first 2 seasons. And man, I can't wait to see this pig grow out. This is maybe one of the most unique pigs that's ever been born or raised here at Trace. He's got some things that maybe ours typically don't have. This thing's feature is very, very extreme. Jaw, forearm, his feet are ginormous, and his hind leg is huge. Again, color doesn't bother us a darn bit in this one. I think obviously from a bear standpoint, but I think this one's got the bore pieces it takes, and one we're high on. Very, very proportional. He's huge through the center portion of his body. He's got look to burn, and he's got the big feature and the big limbs that it takes to hopefully generate and stouten the next generation.
I know we've been in sale season, feels like for a while
We
now,
have.
Justin, but I would challenge you to find one that is that extreme in terms of bone feature, and then combines it with I think, just a perfect skeletal build. I'm pretty high on this one. I think the litter, we've got 6 in the litter. This pig here is definitely worth coming and seeing in person if you can. And if you can't, just trust us. This one's about as extreme and out there as we can do. 52-1.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. We've talked this on this litter before. It's hard to get them that stout, that proportional, but yet to be very, very immature. And that's a hard combination to do right now, breeding hogs. And that view right there going away, he's got some huge dew claws. He's got big, fat feet, and he's got huge legs to go with it. And still very, very attractive ahead of his blade.
52-1, crossbore. 52-4, crossbred boar. This is a one-way, wide awake, tricked out. Gilt litter here, but the 1512 that's stacked in there, that tricked out, is the mama Snap That at PBG, and then ties back into that 35 litter and of all of our good stuff there on that line.
Yeah, so 1512, as Blake mentioned, the grandmother of this pig would have just raised the 17 litter for us that were very well received. I think there's a pig that brought 21, 15, 7,500 in Boble sale there a couple weeks days ago. Got very good homes, but more specifically, this 52 litter is the one of the couple litters that's a sale highlight for us, and Man, I like this pig a lot. This is a show bear supreme for me, and has been very popular to the visitors that have came through. Irregardless if you like his color or not, this is just a dang good pig. He's got big feet, he's got big legs, he's got a high motor, he's got a very big back. He's square pinned, square hinged, from the brim of his nose to his tail. That pig is stout. He's genuine, and a pig I think's got very high upside. Color wise, I will tell you, I
Hmm.
do think that he does have some dark pigment. His hip and the spot there on his rump is maybe a little lighter, but that one is going to be probably dark, classified as a dark cross because of the black pigment, at least in the state of Indiana. But I think that even adds to his value. Run that thing against them belts, he's going to stand out. A pig we're very high on.
Yeah, and I'm way in on this pig. I mean, if you think about just all those pieces that you have to win the show, he's got them. And I think he does a few things that is hard to do in today, and finding them this sound, this good built, with all that extra bone and muscle shape, and I mean, huge back, Rody.
Hmm.
That pig would be a lot of fun to have on feed this summer. That is 52-4 crossbore. 65-3 drops in. This cross barrel's a dog eat dog, blowing smoke, quite frankly.
Yeah, one that's been very popular by the visitors have been through the barn, and one we like a great deal. Hard to combine that kind of look. He's got bear proportions. His jaw, his forearm, his hip, and his hind leg is about as impeccable as we think you can build one. His body shape's very good. He's very impressive as he turns and goes away from you there. I think a very good pig, and one that'll be on the shorter list if you're only asking us for a couple. But a pig I think's got a high ceiling.
Yeah, the dog eat dogs have been really popular and selling well, and we've liked them. And I tell you what, I particularly like this pig's ability to use his hind leg and reach and go. And he's got those wow factors the dog eat dogs have had, but really is excellent in a skeleton. And as Justin said, I think from a proportionality standpoint, I mean this pig has a great proportions, height, length, and then really big centered and big caged up high. I think he's going to have a big back there at the end. And he gets it rolling here, and he's about as good as you can do from the side as well. That is 65-3. 83-3 is the next in. This crossbore, unrivaled, buckle up, quite frankly, timber. Mom here is one of those 72-liter sows that we picked up from Garrett Cox that ties back to our good stuff there on the bottom.
Yeah, and again, I think we said this in a previous slide. I think when you look at this pedigree and combined all of it, I can see the unrivaled with the added hair, stoutness, and feature, and then the buckle up, quite frankly, timber stuff. This pig is going to be stout every day of his life.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you that. I like this pig a bunch. He's got bear boar proportions. He's big chested. He's square kneed. His body shape's awesome. And this one of these 83s, big and broad up high. He's got a very loose and flexible hind leg to go with it. So a pig that's been very well received thus far. And one that we've it's been fun to watch and mature here in this 83-3.
He is a boar, so that option's available for sure, and with the pedigree, could be worth consideration. As a barrow, one thing it takes bone, feature, and it takes a big back, and that pig is going to have one of the bigger backs. He's maybe just off a little behind his blade. To me, just is going to feed into as he matures. That'll smooth up, and that'll be a huge back. And I think one to have on your list for sure here in this 67. Sorry, 83. This is 13-5. This cross gilt is an all access, absolute, no intro, little bro. Mom would have came from Heimers.
Yeah, and we sold I forget if it was 3 or 4 of these in the Trace True sale there, and that were very well received and sold well. This gilt was a little greener at that point. She's definitely not anymore. But this thing, just in terms of look and hair and density of skeleton, is still very good. A gilt that I think is going to look like a big ring gilt. You start with this, and this whole 13 letter, you start there at her head and jaw. I mean, those things they read stout and broad. She's wide between her ears. She's stout about her jaw. She's got a big arm. Got a big hairy hind leg to kind of go with that, and yet for a gilt that's that elevated, still proportional in her body length.
Now, you want a jackpot and run that circuit hard, I'd have this one on your list because, she's got that extra pieces that are going to stand out, the extra hair that is fun to kind of fit up and get ready for a show. And I think that one separates herself in that regard. Dense, I mean, just reads really dense to me. Coarser haired and one that I think is going to stay stout at the end. Really good pig here in 13-5. 23-9. This cross gilt here would be a money line, tricked out exchange rate, and the mom of this one would have made those 34-liter pigs there last fall. I think gilt sold for $39,000 in the League of Their Own sale, and then she's a mate to another one that has been very, very good for us. Made the grand overall gilt there at San Antonio in 24, and some other good pigs. This line has worked really well for us.
Yeah, and this one, when you look at this one visually, I think she looks like her pedigree. Those money lines have always been real dark skinned. They're
Yes.
dark skinned. They got hairy, hairy legs. This one's got an awesome body texture. This one's big, bulky, ready to roll and ready to rumble. She's big and broad up high. She's wide and square down low. Her body shape, her look ahead of her blade. And again, as we talked, a pair of gilts here that I think a lot of the guesswork is done just to get them to
Yep.
this weights. I mean,
Whoa. Yeah.
I know some that I bought, I'm already ready to ship, but when you can get them this far along, a lot of that guesswork's already taken out of there. And again, these need to come off probably the full feed and the full buffet, but a very interesting, good gilt here. This dark colored gilt would be 23-9.
Yeah, I really like this one. She kind of cocks off here for us and gives you that look of not many are going to beat her in terms of look from the side and just presence. That pig, to me, has a very striking first impression that will definitely stand out. One that I would definitely have on your list. We talked a lot about these cross gilts. They're deep. In this sale in particular, as deep as we've had, and I would have that one pretty high up on my list. And if you like them wild looking up front, she should be right there at the very top. That is 23-9 cross gilt. 29-5 cross gilt. This is a culture shock, quite frankly tricked out. And mom here is a litter mate to that grand overall gilt at San Antonio in 24. Two other sale making gilts that year that were really popular, and then Mason would have had class winning Hamp Barrett San Antonio out of the litter too.
Yeah, these culture shocks have been high sellers and received very, very well. The Sloan boar that stands there at Premium Blend, and we've really liked ours. We sold some of those in the first. Seems like we've been selling pigs for 5 years, but this spring that we've already had some of those. This gilt here is kind of what you see in some of those culture shocks, and they're going to be big and bold up high. They're going to be proportional in their body length. But yet I think this one's kind of got the look of her mom in terms of the, quite frankly, head, jaw is stout, neck is trim. And I think if you're looking at a pedigree, there's a lot of relevant stuff in here. Culture shock, quite frankly, tricked out. Very intriguing.
Honestly, these culture shocks have been some of my favorites. And the thing is that they've been kind of hard to get. And I don't know, those of you that have been shopping around, you may have seen that they've been hard to afford. I would say, no doubt, just from pedigree alone, that one should be on your list to look at and see kind of where she fits and where your budget's at. This one is very high quality. And certainly, like I said, love to have one of those culture shock gilts in the barn or on the show team if you can get one. Here's a great option in 29-5. Excited about these little 30 litters. This 30-5 cross barrels is still standing. Right one, rumor has it, Godfather. Out of a bred gilt we picked up there from Kilmer at the all-in sale this past fall.
Yeah, and here's a pig, and again, we get these questions: where's this pig feed? Where's that one feed? Do you got any fall options? So we push some of these along a little more. This is probably one of the smaller pound for pound type pigs, if you will, in the offering. Now, I will say this may be the hairiest pig in the offering as well, but past his hair, he's balanced, he's proportional. This thing's got a huge chest and a big motor to go with it. He's stout jawed. As you can see, he's probably a little greener in his top line yet. I think all that blends and balances later on. But an intriguing pig that's going to last a while.
Love this pig's head. First thing I noticed, hair in his head and shape, and that one is boxy. I agree with Justin. I will be very transparent. We always are. Like, that pig is not going to be a middleweight at your state fairs, the Midwest. If he does, he'll surprise me, and sometimes that happens. But I think he's definitely a lighter weight and more targeted, for those later August, September's, even October, right? It is an endpoint. I'm not saying he can't show early because I think he's got enough quality to do so, but it's going to take a bit for that pig to get there. But when he does, I think he can be as good as any. 30-5 cross barrel. 30-6 cross barrel. This is a still standing right one. Rumor has it, Godfather, and one that we picked up the mom hair from Kilmer's bred this fall.
Yeah, a pig that's very intriguing to me. You know, if you like feeding different types and styles of pigs, and uh, some people like them taller shouldered, greener later in the maturity. Some of them like them a little boxier and stouter to start. And this is a pig to look at because this one would fit the mold of one that's wide, square, and boxy. He's huge about his cage. He's stout about his jaw. He's got a big, big, hairy hind leg to go with it. And yet he's boxy in his overall build. I think, again, we try to put different pigs at different sizes in here. Where does this pig fit? I think he still makes Midwest State Fairs. He's just going to probably be more of a D1. But this thing's going to be able to show in September and probably even into October as well. But pound for pound, this pig's got width. He's got shape to his blade. He's huge about his center body. And he's very, very dense in terms of his feature, his hip and hind leg. He's got a big back to go with it.
Yeah, extreme in bone and skull, and just like his litter mate, I think they stand out from that standpoint. Extra heavy duty, extra stout about those features and indicators that read that they're going to be stout and keep getting stouter as they go. That one would be a lot of fun, and I think for the right judge in the right scenario, he could play at the very, very top. I could see that pig ending up, right there. He's got the upside. Maybe that's the way to put it. The high-end upside as good as any. At the end of the day, that's the type that at least that we like to have in the barn, are those ones that have the potential to win the whole thing. And I think that one has got those outlying pieces that could do that. That's 30-6 cross barrel. 48-1 cross bore. This is an It's Time. Buckle up, quite frankly, timber. Mom is another one of those S-squared litter mate 72 litter sows that has been on an absolute killer run for us here the last couple times.
Yeah, we got a pair of those S-squared ones, and they bought one from us in the quite frankly timber, and then we buy two from them, and two sows that are moving up the ranks here at Trace. The pigs have been very, very good. They've been well received, all litters, and had quite a few high dollar pigs out of them. This is another one that Nate would own here, and I think a pig that honestly we kind of saved back for this sale. He's going to be one of the bigger pigs within this group, but I think this pig offers us quality. Jaw, forearm, body shape. He's got a very loose build off of
Hmm.
both ends of his skeleton. And again, there's a lot of pigs in a lot of barns, including mine. Probably some in yours that a lot of pigs that we got, Blake, probably aren't as good as this pig.
For sure. And I'm telling you, this one needs to be on your list. I mean, you look at bone, feature, muscle, back shape. I mean, that pig's got it all. I think one of the really good ones, and like I said, he's definitely bigger. He's got a size advantage. I don't know that that means necessarily that he has to feed or finish any earlier,
Right.
necessarily. I think just manage different, and if that's what you like to do, is kind of coast them in there. I think, and honestly, that's probably what that pig needs, right? He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to be slammed on. He needs to be kind of just coasted in there.
No, and this pig's
Um,
been on full feed. We haven't
hmm.
been hand feeding. I think there's one or two pigs in
Yep.
the whole barn. For kind of later this weekend, they're getting hand fed. That son of a gun's he's just been at the buffet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I agree. He needs to be slowed down,
yep.
slowed up. That and probably in 2 weeks you're going to be thrilled with what you have here. This pig looks good today, but I think slowed up looks even better. And one that definitely, for us would be on the list. This is a deep sale. We really did try to cull down and only offer our very, very best. This pig is high end quality for sure. 48-1. 48-4 cross gilt. It's time. Buckle up. Quite frankly, timber. We talked a lot about these 72 liter sows and that represented in the sale, and this gilt here, certainly one of the standouts.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting pedigree. There is a lot of should be a lot of bone and look built into this pedigree, and you get back behind there. It's quite frankly timber. That's Nate's timber sow. He owns part of this sow here in this buckle up that we bought from S squared at the same time. Very intriguing gilt. This gilt we held back deliberately from the first Trace True sale. We wanted to make sure that we had a gilt of this quality that's big, stout, ready to roll. This one combines a lot of very, very unique things. Again, we've talked about it at times on some of those other ones. This is a very, very good show gilt. But if somebody wants high ROI in terms of a sow prospect, they need to look in here.
Yeah, I like this pig really, really well. It's a deep set of gilts, and this one, I guess, from a pounds or size standpoint, it's going to be one of the larger ones in the offering. I don't think that's a bad thing because that pig, she's got those wow factors, just a little more size and maturity on her, and I think from those summer shows and ability to jackpot early and roll them all the way through your summer shows, your county fair, state fair. I mean, this pig will last and could be ready at every one of them. And I do think the fundamentals are there, and then she's got the extras for sure that you need this day and age in terms of bone and hair, wild look. That pig is very impressive. 48-4. 50-3 here. This cross bore would be It's Time, Buckle Up, FAF. Young Sal, Littermate would have made the established gilt that sold really well, and also I think that Reserve D1 at Denver, right, for the Price family showed
Yep.
that just finished up was those were Kongs, and these would be It's Times.
Yeah, it's time board that Tanner bought from us there at PT 2 seasons ago, and one that we've liked at Pigs. Very, very predictable, and we use It's Time. He's going to add feature. He's going to give him a wild look, and that's what this pig, I think, has. He has a different look about him. He's a mate. He was a little greener early. He's a mate to a pig that was very well received in our Trace True sale that brought 5 figures there as a bear prospect. And again, this pig's a little raw in terms of probably his shape right now, but has that feature that you see out of those It's Times. He's got a wild look here. And again, I think just time and body, just flesh overall, will be that pig's friend here in 50-4.
50-3.
3, I'm sorry.
Oh, is it 50 dash? It is dash 4. We had that wrong. So it is 50-4 in the ring. Justin was right. I agree. I really like this pig, and he's got that wild look up front, and then a really big, shapely back, and those are big legs. I
Hmm.
think he'd be on the. Wouldn't tell you he's the heaviest bone on this sale, but he'll be on the upper end of bone, and one that looks like he will feed and continue to get better. 50-4 cross bore. 52-2 cross bore. This is a one-way, another one of those one-way wide awake tricked outs.
Yeah, and I think a good young, very good young sow that we're starting to build around with that 6 litter and the wide awake, and then you've got Snap That's Mom and the mother of the 17s that we've sold here the last a week or so that were very well received, and pig comes out of a very deep litter. And again, this pig is very unique. Nate and I were looking at this pig. He's got blue in terms
Mm-hmm.
of his dots and rump, but then his head's kind of got a little roan in it. It's got a little black in it. So this pig's gonna stand out for sure, color alone. But I think from a quality standpoint, this bear is going to be able to go to higher weights
Mm-hmm.
for sure. He's going to feed. He looks like the feeding type to me. One that's elevated. He's got some wit. He's got just feature and bone like that whole litter does, and that we've been seeing out of the one ways. They're stout as babies, but they continue to progress. And I think of these 52s, right maturity pattern, as we indicated, that hip and hind leg can reach, plant, and flex.
He's got a little added extension even comparative to the mates up in his front 1/3, and I think like we've talked before, just perfect skeleton, got the extra bone of feature, and I agree with you. I love that color. I mean, that is very, very unique. And I think,
Blue, black, roan, a little
yeah,
bit of everything.
now just to be, open and transparent, I do think that pig is going to classify, at least in Indiana, those a couple of those spots are dark enough to where he
Hmm.
may, very likely, will have to run with the darks. But like we said before, when one stands out and looks different, and you got about 8 belts out there, and then you have this one, and then he's got that extra bone and feature. I think that actually does help, and it's to your advantage. So that's 52-2 crossbore. 52-7, the belted version of 52-7. This cross gilt's a one-way, wide awake, tricked out, and would tie back here to some of our very best stuff.
Yeah, 52 liters certainly a highlight for us, and this 52.7 sired by One Way. We can't say enough about One Way, which is there at Moyer's. He would have been a lead off or a litter mate to lead off. That's at premium blend, and every time we're ordering semen, it's ship 8 to 10 doses because these pigs have been good. They're not only sellable, but they feed, and we're excited about some prospects that we've got that'll show in the next couple weeks or so. But we've liked this litter a bunch. We like this gilt. She's heavy bone. She's got features. She's very, very proportional. And then we talk about Blake, just ones that are right in their maturity pattern. I think this is a gilt for that. She's not the biggest. She's not the bulkiest. And I'm not saying that any of them probably in this litter are just chock full of muscle right now, but they have got the it factor in terms of ones that got big legs. They're very proportional. They got a sharp look, and they can use their hip and hind leg. Again, I think if you're looking for an elite show gilt, I think some of these 52s are certainly ones to look in on, but the prospect level for a sow, I think, and the genetic value that these have are very, very high.
Yeah, I love this pig, and this litter has been good. And as we kind of work through them, this one hits me very, very hard in terms of, like Rody said, proportions. She's got a presence about her, and the way she kind of arrogance around her and her head, and that one to me would be a ton of fun to have this summer, and then even on into the fall as we keep going. That's 52-7 belted version cross gilt. We'll start here with this 52-7 Calico Gilt. She's a one-way, wide awake, tricked out. And that litter there, Grandma's the mom, snap that. that went to PBG and then ties back to those 35 and 32 liter sows that have been really good for us.
Yeah, these one ways we're high on, and we've used that boar for 2 seasons. Not only does he have very sellable pigs, but pigs that go on to feed. We're very high on some of them that have still got a show here in the next month or two, both down south and in Oklahoma. This 52 liter is a highlight for us in this offering, and as I said, one way. Is at Moyer's. He's a litter mate to lead off that Moyer's raised. It's at PBG. And again, a litter that we like a tremendous amount. I like this Calico Gilt. She's very immature, but she is very heavy bone. Big feet, very, very good looking in terms of her head and her neck, and yet you set that one into motion. She can use her hip and hind leg. She's not going to be the biggest and probably bulkiest right now of the 52s, but this one I think has got a long shelf life, and her indicators read stout. Stout head, stout jaw, big forearm, huge hind leg to go with it, and still being very proportional, Blake.
There's something about these calicos, I don't know. They just always seem to stay stout too.
Yep.
As they feed, never have to worry about them growing out of bone or kind of not having enough. I mean, they're going to be, this gilt's going to be heavy bone. She'll be at the rise of the top of a class or division in terms of bone and feature for sure. Another one that I think can be a player, state fairs and then keep going and feed for a long time.
Yeah, and it's hard to get heavy bone pigs that are still immature in their skeleton. And as we go through this 52 litter, we're going to see that. We're going to see big limbs, big feet, stout indicators. But I'm not going to tell you they're all just ripped up with muscle. But these are the type that normally, Blake, you and I get along with feeding
No doubt.
very well because the basic and fundamentals are there. We can add that a little bit of shape later on. That'll come with maturity.
Even I can't screw that one up, Brody, I'd say, for sure. 52.7, very nice Calico Gilt. We finish up these 52 litters with 52-8 cross gilt. One way, wide awake, tricked out.
Yeah, this is the one of the belted versions of these 52s, and again, as we've said on some of those, these things have huge feet, and they've got big paws, and they got big legs and big indicators to go with it. And this gilt's probably added even a shot more just mass and size right now compared to her mates, but big chest. Look at their hips and their hind legs and the way that they can reach, flex, and motor. This one's got jaw and feature to go with it. She's big and broad and probably the most advanced, I'd say, and just in terms of her muscle. And I think that's fine, a good thing, because she's not out of bounds in any regard. Big upper hip, big hind leg to go with it, and very impressive from all views. Coming at you, leaving you, and then the side profile looks like a big ring gilt.
Something we've been kind of focusing on, or I have with our boys, is just, starting at the very ground. And that judges always told us that, and I finally maybe paying attention. But look at the size of the feet. Toe spread, dew claw spread on these 52 litters. And, it's critical that you start there. And those that feed and last at the end have got those basics there.
Yeah, show gilt. Tremendous sow prospect right here. If somebody's looking to get into a good litter, generally I like to feed pigs out of good litters.
Absolutely.
And when I'm buying them, and then I like to buy keeper gilts from other people with proven sows or that out of good litters. It just eliminates a lot more headaches and problems long term, and you can get a quick ROI on this one right here. Very good show gilt, an elite sow prospect.
That's 52.8. 53-1 cross barrel drops in. This is a relentless woke timber. This would be a gilt litter here, but ties back to that 39 litter timber sow that's been really, really good for us.
Yeah, she's still is one of the densest females that we've ever had here at Trace in that timber sow. And then Mom would be a litter mate to a gilt that was very, very memorable. She actually was she was so good that she didn't even have to go to the ring, and decided not to get judged. But she was a crowd favorite. Our buddy out there in Iowa just maybe got the classes just one off and didn't get an exhibitor.
It's
Um,
too bad. We laughed, but that pig
yeah,
had a
she was very
chance.
good. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. The story's told that the judge was trying to, as he was in the holding pens, trying to get her in the class because he could see how good she was, and the gate just never swung open, and so at least the front gate, the back gate did to be dismissed back to your pen. But again, this pig, when you get down to it, one of the loosest constructed pigs in the whole
mhm.
offering. Range of motion, hip and hind leg. Yes, he's greener in his shape. Doesn't have as much just pop right now. Very easy feeding hog. Thing's got a broad forehead. He's got a
Mhm.
stout jaw to go with it, and these are the ones that
They'll
when you,
surprise
yep,
somebody.
yep, you get aggressive with that bucket. This one will take all that you want to give him because he's very loose in his skeleton.
And that, to me, I mean, one, these relentless pigs
Yep.
have been feeding,
Okay. Yep.
right?
Yep. Good point.
And winning shows. I would say, and he's not done yet, right?
Yeah. If you talk to a lot of those guys that are showing these pigs right now, I got a lot of buddies in Oklahoma. Okay, the relentless pigs start greener and skinnier.
Hmm.
They're not going to necessarily be the highest price baby pigs. But if you talk to some of those top guys out there, JD, Goss, and some of them, the pigs that they like right now, getting ready to go into the big show at
Are
Hawaii, are
relentless. Yeah,
relentless
they are.
pigs. Relentless pigs.
And
And I think skeleton wise is how you can get there at the end.
yep, yep. It's well said. And I mean, he won't be the one that probably catches everybody's eye. But if you really study pedigree, you study kind of how these things built and what you could do, and project that out and think about that end point. Really, really a good upside on this pig, and one that I think will get better with time on feed. 53-1. 55-2. This Duroc barrow is a turn the tide, Waymaker, stay in your lane. Mom here is the runner gilt that we picked up there from Langhoff a couple times ago. Won a lot of shows as a show gilt, and she would have came from Leto. Grandma back in there, that stay in your lane, was the Geyer gilt that won Expo a few time or a time before that. So
Yeah, this looks like a feeding pig to me. Is a pig, that I would pick out and feed for my kids. Jaw, length of neck's good, range of motion's good, but yet immature pattern and muscle shape is a little greener right now. I don't worry about his ear long term. It's folded just a little right there.
mm-hmm.
I think that thing should either drop, or if it doesn't, I think something as simple as a tag in it will get it to fall, because it's not a hard crease, I guess, in there. So I don't worry about his ear long term. Don't let that deter you. But it looks like a feeding pig to me.
Yeah, stout pig. Got some bone, got hair, got a really stout mug. To me, and a big tail root. That pig looks like he will be heavy bone and stay heavy boned down at the end, and he's got the right proportions. I mean, that pig is flat back, and he's not real long and skinny, but yet greener in his muscle today, to where I think is one that'll last. Feet and legs are going to be good there at the end when it matters. And 55-2 Duroc Barrow. Next up, 55-4. This Duroc Barrow is a turn the tide, Waymaker, stay in your lane. This would have been one we picked up from Hunter. The runner would have showed, won a lot of shows, and ties back to Leto stuff. And then Grandma would be the Geyer gilt that won Expo a few years ago.
Yeah, we like our red set of pigs in this kind of group, and we're going to split some of them and take some of them to Winning Tradition down there, and then offer some of them Thursday night. But again, I think a barra that looks like this Dash 4 looks like a pig that could feed extremely well. Feature chest width. He's got shape up high. He's bold through the center portion of his cage. His feet read big, square, true, and genuine.
He looks very similar. We looked at his brother
Mm-hmm.
here in the preview ring a little earlier, and I guess these two, to me, very, very similar. I don't know how I necessarily rank them, but I'd say them both have really good quality, flat back, right proportions, good stout features, all those basics covered. Really good feet and legs. A lot of confidence in either of these two littermate red barrels. This one is 55-4. Continuing here on the 56 litter, 56.3 Boar Pig is a Kong buckle up, nothing to hide.
Yeah, another good pig out of a deep litter here in 56.3. And again, will be one of the sale highlights in this 56. This pig specifically, very dark pigmented, good skinned. He's got a very sharp look, especially being there out of Kong. And he's got the big hind leg. When you combine Kong and Buckle Up, that one's hind leg's very big. He's still boxy and proportional at the same time. He's got a very good look ahead of his blade. And again, I think big feet, big jaw, and still got upside.
Yeah, really, really stout. It's exciting to get to see these 56s. I haven't been up here in a bit, and they hit me pretty hard as we drop them in. This is 56-3 crossbore Kong buckle up. 56-4. This cross guild is a Kong buckle up, nothing to hide.
Yeah, and this one may look the most like her pedigree or the attentions why we bred this sow to Kong. The sow in general is very good looking, tall shouldered, very attractive ahead of her blade, and then we put Kong on it for that added feature, that added hair, and those Kong pigs have been very good here, Blake. We just had third overall D1 there at Denver, I believe, for the Price family. There was a Kong out of a different litter. But again, Kong's worked here because our sows have got some added look, and then when we match it up, we get feature and bone, and I think that's exactly what this Dash 4 is. She's the smallest in terms of pounds, but maybe the most boxy, the widest, and the stoutest featured. That one's head, jaw, forearm, her hind leg, and her feet are big. She's got awesome roll to the center portion of her cage. She's big up high, and yet that one looks like she'll be able to feed and show early, but that one's got a lot of shelf life long term.
Yeah, I really like this litter, and this is the last one I guess we're going to see out of the group that's very deep, and she's a little different, like Justin said. I think this one does have a very long show window, and we talk a lot about that, these days, and you'll hear that on the previews. But I think this is one that truly could be ready for jackpots. She could show at all your summer shows, and then she could last and get you value all the way into the fall if you wanted to. Very, very nice pig here in 56-4. Up here is 56-9. This gilt would be a Kong, buckle up, nothing to hide. Young sow that came from Stolquist, and I think one of your children may have showed this one, Rhodey, and won Jasper County last summer.
Yeah, this was a good gilt that we picked up, and 2 years ago there from Ryan, and I think this 56.9 is certainly a sale highlight when you're talking about cross gilts, and Blake, as we got to buy a lot of pigs for our kids because we sell most of them here at Trace, and some of these cross gilts have been a little scattered and a little harder to find throughout the country, and but I do think this one's a top shelf type of a gilt in terms of one that's very, very proportional. She's dense and stout, jaw, forearm, big hind leg, and still very, very square. Has got an awesome look. She comes from a deep litter. And again, being a Kong, I think in terms of look and elevation, top of her neck, still very, very good for this gilt.
Cross gilt, again, that would be 56-9. Kong, buckle up, nothing to hide. 57-5 drops in. This cross barrel be a here to stay, right one. Would have came from Wintex, and this is the one that the Hagee family showed that was third overall light cross at Expo, and then third overall cross and champion light at the Indiana State Fair there in 24.
Yeah, she was very, very dense and very, very hairy. If you remember, Blake, you had one of those right ones. They were white, and so did Heggie. And this pig specifically, I think, has got a very sharp look. He's got a loose hind leg. He can reach and flex. He's got shape to go with it, and then he's got some of his mom's added feature here as well.
Bone, hair, flexibility, high motor. I mean, you could see him kind of catting around, and that's I think a lot of what his mom had there, and she continued to get better and feed and finished up better than she started. This pig could do the same thing. I think one that, July, August, right? He's that type, county fair, state fair, Midwest deal, looks like an easy feeder, and one that you're never going to have to worry about getting there and and performing. Could handle all the additives and extras that you need to do to make him right at the end, because his skeletal quality is very high. So good one here to put on your list, that light cross division 57-5. Yeah, I got these 59 liter Durox. This is 59-1. He is a bore. He's a bank on it. King Boss Statement Day. That was 15 liter. King Boss was a really deep litter that we made there, and one of those would have been third overall gilt there at San Antonio with the Horton team, and one here that looks pretty intriguing, Justin.
Yeah, good pig out of a good litter, and bank on it semen. That boar was a little younger, and he was in very high demand there at Purple Power. So I think this would have been towards one of his first collections, and a boar that we're going to use again for sure. This pig we like. He's different looking. He's very stout jawed. He's very just look and elite ahead of his blade. He's got big feet. He reads, as we've talked on some of these reds, the right maturity pattern to be there in the end. He's honestly got a littermate boar that we're very high on, that we've just decided that we're going to feed and keep for later in the summer. But we like this pig. Big time upside here if you're shopping red hogs.
A wild look. I mean, that pig is, like you said, I mean, squareness, width, skeletal width is there, and that pig has got added bone for us, foot size and bone. And his indicators, like we've talked, I guess, to me look like he could be one of those rare ones that adds bone as he matures. And he's got plenty now, but that one could be wild, and really good there at the end. That is 59-1 Duroc boar. 59-4, this Duroc Guild is a bank on it. King Boss Statement Day. Mom here would have been a mate. Came from a very deep litter. One of those was third overall Guild at San Antonio, the Horton team head.
Yeah, and we only had one of these bank on it litters, but a boar that we're going to breed back to. And this litter wasn't huge in size, but I think represents quality. This gilt herself is a little different looking. She looks like a big ring gilt that's a little later in her maturity, but man, that elevation, she's going to be a crazy looking one compared to her. The rest of the ones that are in her class or in her division, and yet patterns and profiles extremely well. Has enough feature to go with it, and just different. And again, we're not going to say that this one's going to win a jackpot show the first 3 or 4 weekends out, but I think long term, thinking about big ring gilts, and as this one matures and continues to flesh and get fat, could be very interesting.
Yeah, that's a skinny neck with a great jaw. And I agree with you. She's greener, skinnier now, but she's got, to me, foot and bone there. And like you said, later mature. And I mean, that one's best days are going to be there in August when she's 3 1/4 or 340, and is woofy and fluffed on, and you be able to pour everything to her. She can handle it. Great skeleton. I like that pig a bunch there, 59-4. All right, next up, 60-7 cross gilt. This is a nightcap, 99 problems affliction.
Yeah, interesting pedigree here. A little different for us, but that was 99 problems. That was a boar at Foots that had a very good run. And then the affliction, I believe, was not the softer boar that was at Laird's.
Yep.
So this one, man, this one's woofy in terms of feature. Pound for pound, maybe one of the stoutest gilts in the offering. Very boxy in her build. She's going to have a long shelf life there. And I think her head and her neck and her body type and her body length is going to allow her to be able to go ahead and do that. I think she's not solid black. She's got a little white there on one of her on her feet there, a little bit on all fours, if you will. But an interesting, kind of a fun and interesting gilt.
Yeah, and the nightcaps have been really good. That's the one at that's still at Lackey's.
Yep.
And mate to Dog Eat Dog. Is that right?
I believe so.
Nightcaps have been really good for us, and I really like this gilt, and I think hopefully you tuned in and checked the video out and didn't just pass her on her picture being solid black, because this one has those wild pieces, really good proportion, big bones, big hair, boxy, kind of wild, cocky look, and one that's really doesn't have many holes. And I think you could put this one on your list pretty high, and probably get you a heck of a buy here on Thursday night in 60-7 cross gilt. So this will be 61-1 cross barrel, a golden era right one timber, the first of these 61s that will roll through here. And grandma's that timber sow of Nate's, and litter mate is the mom of the 35 litter that we had last fall that had bean dip and a $60,000 high seller there in Oklahoma and some others. So as good as we can do here on the pedigree here on the 61.
Yeah, I think there's power in the blood, especially on the bottom side of this, and then you stack Golden Era on top. Some of those pigs have been very well received. We've looked at them at other places as well. I think this pedigree makes a lot of sense. I think maturity is going to be in favor of these 61s as they progress through July and August time frame. I expect them just to get stouter and stouter because of the south side of this. This is a loose constructed pig. He's tall shouldered. He's very good looking. His chest reads genuine, true, and square, and yet he's got shape up high. Again, I think a pig that's a little greener in terms of his overall build right now and look, but one that's going to continue to get better midsummer, Blake.
Yeah, and this pig, again, like Justin said, is a little greener, but I love his proportions, his shortness, and his height. He looks like a pig that'll get to the big weights, and looks like one that'll feed and that won't have a problem, getting that 280, 270 type weights that we sometimes struggle with. 61-1, cross barrow, golden era, right one timber. 61-3 cross gilt. This gilt is a golden era, right one timber, and that timber sow back there as the grandma is the Nate Myers told timber sow. Her litter mate mom of the 35 litter this fall that had bean dip their upper hand, and a $60,000 high seller gilt in Oklahoma, and some others that still have a chance. So power in the blood here.
Yeah, and I think the bottom side of the pedigree, as Blake said, very, very interesting. Anytime that we've got quite a few of those three litters, they're right one timber, and a lot of our daughters, I think there's 12 or 13 of them that go back to this timber sow. And for this one being out of Golden Era, maybe a little greener in terms of type and build right now, but I think that looks like a big ring gilt. She's tall shouldered, she's very extended ahead of her blade, she's still square. And still got some shape up high. I think body shape, being out of that pedigrees continue. Maturity will be on her side come July and August time frame. Very sharp looking, very good in terms of just elevation and profile here in 61-3.
And for me, 61-3, maybe doesn't just blow you away today, but if you just study that gilt, there's no holes here. And then backed with that pedigree on the bottom side, I think you can buy with a lot of confidence. 61-3, golden era, right one timber. 61-6 cross gilt. This is a golden era, right one timber.
Yeah, and a gilt that is one that has got maybe a little more size than our other litter mates here, but this is the widest chested one. This one has the most shape to her blade, her top, her upper hip, and stifle, but yet balances. It still brings some feature at the ground just in terms of foot size and bone. And then when she goes away, that's a big upper hip and stifle. Still maintains a very square look. I like this gilt. I think this is one that could be competitive June, July, August time frame. Big backs win big shows, and that one certainly got a big back.
Yeah, there's two of these 61 litter gilts, I think, in the sale, and this one gives you a little extra, brings just a little extra, I guess, to the table is a way to describe it. And, I think very nice show gilt potential. And for me, I think if you're looking to add some crossbreds into the herd and to lay in some kind of foundation pieces, I would study in here pretty hard. I mean, deep through the pedigree, and it ties back to that timber sow that has been our most consistent generator. This would be a really good gilt to start and to build on a crossbred program. 61.6 Golden Era, right one timber. 63.1 cross bore. This pig is an It's Time Trick Daddy, never before. Just another young sow that ties back to those 35 litter never before sows already.
Yeah, good pig here, and we've liked our It's Times. We've used him for at least 2 seasons now. One thing he'll do is he's going to add stoutness in a hurry. And this pig's got a very, very big hind leg. He's got a big blade. He's got a big back to go with it. He's stout-jawed, very, very proportional. And again, I think this one, he's very impressive going away. He's got a big upper hip. He's got a big stifle. He's one that can use his hind leg. He can show his rear heel as he goes away, and still being very, very proportional. I think an interesting pig that's got a high ceiling as well.
Really like this pig. Come and go in squareness, like you said. Extra stout. Great proportions. I think a pretty fun barrow here in 63-1. It's Time Trick Daddy, never before. 64-2 drops in, and this cross barrel is a blue strips on that tricked out Stay Classy. Mom's litter mate to the buyer's barrow that was reserve grant at San Antonio, and then the one that Jay McCormick's crew had there that was reserve cross at Houston here in 64-2.
Yeah, the solid black bear, excuse me, is going to be a very hairy bear. I mean, you look at his forearm, his hind leg. He's got very good shag when it comes to that regard. He's an elevated hog that still has the feature in terms of forearm. He's probably not the widest and just broadest and bloomiest right now, but I think long term that bear is going to give you a very good look. He's going to stay square and sound at the same time.
Yeah, really interesting one here. It's this solid black 64-2. Those blue strips, we've liked some of those that we've seen here early, and I do think it's on one of our best sow lines there that's been extremely predictable. And if you're hunting a barrow that could hit there, that July, August time frame, I think this one is right in the money. And again, we talked about these black ones. Some will overlook, and so for value for your money, I think I'd look in. If those budget shoppers, I'd have this one on my list for a barrel prospect in 64-2. 64-3 crossbore. This is a blue strips, tricked out, Stay Classy. Mom here is a litter mate to those reserve grand barrel for buyers at San Antonio, and then the one that Jay had that was a reserve cross at Houston that year.
Yeah, Southside first, as Blake said. These one litter tricked outs keep, and then Stay Classy behind that, just keep generating. And they're getting a little older in age, but man, they can still kick them out. I know that 24 litter that we sold there over the course of the last 2-3 weeks was 1-14, which was tricked out, Stay Classy. This is a litter mate to her. Blue strips. I've liked a lot of those pigs. Actually, I got a couple in my barn for my kids. Would have been a pig that our buddy Riggs raised. That Purple Power bought at Winning Tradition there a year ago. And again, this one for us obviously is going to be a light cross, but for a light cross has got that extra look. I think his body shape's unreal. He's got a huge cage. He's big up high, but yet square pinned, square hinged. And again, I think if you're looking for middle of June, July time frame, this one can certainly do it. But yet it has enough width and body shape. If you need to go 1st of August, it can still do that as well.
I agree 100%. It's unique, right? Because we've got all these light cross divisions at about every show now. And let's just say it, they have an advantage because of that. So they get to stand out on their own, to be in a separate division, running the Grand Drive. And, I think this pig has that capability to be a player in that division. And they've been, a little harder to find at times. I think this one is one of the really good ones. This is 64-3 crossbore. This Wagey Blue 64-9 cross gilt. That's a blue strips, tricked out, Stay Classy. This one here is Mom be a litter mate to that reserve grand at San Antonio and that reserve champion cross there at Houston that year.
Yeah, we're fortunate that this sow just keeps kicking them out for us. I know Inskeep's got 1-14 down there that we would have just sold the
Hmm.
24 litters the last couple weeks. There was 8 pigs in that litter. The boar that Laird's just bought from us there at Bobles was out of 1-14. So bottom side, this is bulletproof for us and probably is about as good as it gets. And we thought this little blue gilt would fit very good in that light division. If most shows are separating them out now, very good look, very very proportional. Her body shape for a pig that's still green and immature is very good, and yet one that can get her head above her blade, she can get out and move. I think that kind's going to get you a look every time.
I haven't seen a bunch, but the ones we've seen out of the blue strips have been very good.
Hmm.
There, that were at Danner's and would have came from our good buddy Riggs. And I don't know, this gilt could fit a lot of people, but certainly if you've got kind of a new showman that's just getting started, I mean, that one's fun to look at, be fun to show, fun to stand out, and a really nice prospect here. 64.9 cross gilt. This is 65.2 cross barrel. Dog eat dog, blowing smoke, quite frankly. And this mom would have been one of the keeper deal, and then grandma was the one that we bought from JD there that brought a little money as a baby pig.
Yeah, and I'd say don't count this bear out just because of his color. There's going to be a lot of people that look at his litter mate, but this pig is he's going to be hairy. He's going to be he is
Hmm.
stouter featured
He
probably
is.
than his mate in terms of forearm, and he's got a huge hind leg. He's rolled up high in terms of back shape, but yet still comfortable out of his hip and hind leg. And yeah, would we like to have some white on him? But those black ones at the end, if they're hairy
Hmm.
and they're proportional and they have feature, they can still run. I remember,
Oh yeah.
there's a solid black pig. I think one from Mock that way, maybe one Ohio there a couple years ago, and so they can get it done. Don't discount them on that, and I wouldn't sleep on this pig.
No, they're becoming more popular. Judges are willing to step out there and do it now, and so I mean, this one does have those, excuse me, extra pieces. Bone, he's top 1%, type deal, and he's got hair, and he's got a really nice back in him. I like that pig really well. I don't see any big holes, and I see some extras. And again, we talked about it. These black ones. I mean, stay tuned, guys. These are from a value standpoint, you can kind of get a little higher quality and still fit your budget. This one to me is top end type 65-2. Next up here is the 65-9. This cross gilt is a dog eat dog, blowing smoke, quite frankly. And the mom, I guess grandma would have came, or the mom would have came, right? Or the grandma would have came from JD, quite frankly.
Yeah, the quite frankly would. Yeah, we picked her up at Smokes for about 10,000,
Hmm.
and that thing had she was crazy stout, head, jaw, forearm, hind leg. I mean, she was very dense, is what you expect out of that quite those quite franklies. This one's got her grandmother's stoutness a feature, but has got a little more look and extension up front. Very loose hind leg. I'm not going to tell you that this is another one that I'll tell some of my guys looks like a gilt that's going to feed. She's not going to be the highest priced gilt in the offering, and that's fine. But this one looks like that she has the potential to feed. Feet and legs are good. She's got enough feature. She's got enough look, and I love her hip and her hind leg and the range of motion there.
Yeah, really good, really nice skill. Like fundamental, no holes, but definitely looks like she could get better. And I guess if you think about the dog eat dog deal, which I think he's dead now, right? So one of your last chances here to, I guess, to get a female, or one that's been very popular. And so I think a lot of value here as a show guild and as a sow potential prospect to lay in there. That is 65-9. This is 66-1. That's cross barrels of Pulse, Happy Hour, Tricked Out.
Yeah, this white sock pig is again another one of those pigs that you don't have to make a lot of excuses for. He's very loose in his skeleton. He's square in his build, good in his chest. I love his length of body. I love just where he's at in terms of shape and spread right now. very square. Again, I see this pig catch up
Hmm.
and sneak up on some guys here. Those pulses would have been the Kong Sun that was Heimer raised that was
Purple
at
Power, yeah.
Purple Power. He's a litter mate to Sheridan there. Um, I think a lot of the guesswork is really pretty done with this pig, just in terms of not having any huge holes. It looks like a feeder's dream to me, and a pig that's going to get better every day.
The pig is stout. Got a big stout skull in him. Like you said, I would call them not no big holes. I mean, honestly, no holes. I mean, that pig is kind of doesn't have any big issue at all. And but yet he still, when you really study him, that pig's got spread. He's got muscle. He's got look from the side, proportions perfectly to me, and he uses his hind leg. And I think those Kong Sons are doing that, and to a very high degree. And then you kind of lay it in there, and I think the happy hour tricked out combination does fit pedigree wise. It's a really nice blend. Pig that I think is really, really neat and should be on the list. That is 66-1. 7-1 drops in. That's a cross bore. He'd be a mainline, trick daddy, stay classy. And the mom here, as we get started on these 67 letters, this is the McGuire gilt that we bought,
Hmm.
that Thompson showed from OIE in 24. She was fourth overall there, and her first litter was a home run last year. The Driving Forces that had the $95,000 boar pig, and then would have had the champion heavy cross there at Indiana that the Rotoball family would have showed that was very, very popular. And then her last litter, Unrivaled, made a boar pig at PT that Moyer buys. So
Hmm.
really consistent start for this young sow.
Yeah, very interesting to me on both sides of the pedigree. You put mainline the Hilty boar at Halfins. It needs no introduction. I don't know if there was
Hmm.
many boars that sired as many high dollar pigs and that was as popular and in demand in terms of semen. It was hard for us to get it, but we thought this sow deserved a boar like that, and we like these pigs a lot. This pig specifically in 67-1, this calico kind of bronzed up pig. Is one that's probably a little greener in his overall maturity at this point. But I think again that works to his favor. I haven't seen very many main lines that didn't have enough shape and muscle and spread. So I think that pig long term feeding window gets that. He's very, very unique colored. Some guys will rule out calicos from the start. This pig's going to be very dark roan, dark pigmented. He's got the feature to go with it, and it's got a wild, wild look from the side.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I thought. I mean, presence, look. I mean, these main lines have been awesome, and I really was excited to see him here, and I think on that sow, it's really clicked well. So this is 67-1 crossbore. 67-2 cross barrel. This is a mainline Trick Daddy Stay Classy. And mom here is that we talked on the previous one is the McGuire gilt that we bought that was fourth overall there at OIE that from the Thompson family and has been extremely productive in her first two litters.
Yeah, she is, and one we're certainly building around. We mainline semen was hard to get, but we thought this sow deserved it based on her first litter, and we're glad that we were able to get some and breed her to mainline. Certainly needs no introduction there at Halfins. The old pumpkin spice here. This is a pig I like. Again, maturity pattern. Some people are going to rule him out because of color. Well, I'm not sure I would do that
Mm-hmm.
because actually this red roan is to me badass looking just in terms of one that has that color. He's going to stand out. Very square. I think for the mainline stuff is very, very sharp looking ahead of his blade, boxy and proportional. And again, I think a pig as he goes to heavier weights, one, he's going to be able to handle it because of his hip and hind leg, and two, that one's going to stand out, not apart just from his color, but more so from a quality standpoint.
I think you can tell in the video, but just say, there's not very many that Nate names. This one comes with a name, and I think for a reason. He's been a favorite, barn favorite, certainly amongst the visitors and Nate, and I could see why. I mean, this pig here hits me like a ton of bricks. a fun one. Got all the basics, and then has those extras that are whoa, whoa, whoa. He's going to stand out. Pumpkin Spice. Come check him out. 67-2. 67-3 cross bore. This is the main line out of that McGuire Gilt Trick Daddy. Stay classy, Justin.
Yeah, this I would have had our draft pig that brought 95,000, and would also raised the gilt at Gentry showed that was champion D4 there, I think, at Indy Blake.
Yeah.
One that was certainly a crowd favorite, and one we were very, very high on. One of the better ones that we probably have produced, and one of the Trace families have shown. But we like this pig here in this mainline pig in 67-3. I think this is Showbar Deluxe right here. This is one any Midwest State Fair. If you're looking to compete and run hard, this is a pig we think that can do it. I think this thing looks like a 275, 282 pounder there that could look like a hammer. His feature reads big. It's hard to get him that elevated, that sharp looking, and still have big joints, big legs, big feet to go with it. He's broad up high out of the backside of his blade. He's big through his pin set and his upper stifle as well.
These main lines have just started to kind of roll out and win in shows. I think you just saw there at Oklahoma. They had some success and no surprise, honestly. I think he's going to continue to have a heck of a run as a sire, particularly for show barrows. This one, you talk about height to length ratio. I think this one nails it. That is a really short-bodied pig, but got some elevation. Looks like he's going to feed to higher weights. I don't think he's like a fast grower, but he looks like one that could be a heavyweight and be an absolute player. No guarantees in this game. We all know that. But this one's about as bulletproof to start with that I think we can do here. 67-3 crossbore. Well, we finish up the 67 litter here with 67-4 cross gilt. I think just the one gilt, right, from the litter and that we're going to offer. The mainline Trick Daddy Stay Classy.
Yeah, and this thing, she is boxy and stout in her build, with a huge cage and still got a very good look up high. Honestly, this one has got long shelf life. I do think this one's it projects out to be like a D1, a heavy D1 there in the Midwest time frame, and then September, October, I think are going to be her friends. This one is moderate. Moderate in her frame size, but very short back. She's huge through the center portion. She's got the extra hair and density it takes, and big, stout, square pin set. As that one goes away, she is very impressive. Big upper hip, square in her hock, square in her rear foot, and again, I think it's not going to be a bad thing to have a mainline there in your barn to feed as a show gilt, but then the bottom side of that being out of that young McGuire sow. There's a lot of proof in the pudding there.
I absolutely love this little pig, and I know she's not going to be a big one, right? For those state fair deals, and she may never end up being in the heavyweights. Let's just be honest. But where that one's good, that one is really good and impressive. Big time here. Again, I think one that we have a lot of confidence in that sow line, and those pigs have been feeding. And this one here is maybe as unique of one that we've had yet out of her. 67-4 cross gilt. 68-2. We'll start off the 68s. This cross bore is a Kong. Picture this rusty cage. Mom would be the GNS gilt that we would have shown, and Hayden would have actually shown there at State Fair. Was 5th overall cross gilt that year at the Indiana State Fair, and previous to that was 4th in D4 there at Louisville.
Like this pedigree, that gilt was very sharp looking, Blake, and those picture thises were kind of that way. And then we go and breed her to Kong. We're immediately injecting feature. And this pig, I think, combines and looks like his pedigree. This pig's broad about his skull. He's big about his arm. He's very loose, like that gilt was constructed, just in terms of range of motion, both ends of his skeleton. Body shape's very good, and again, you need one that is going to weigh 75 to 85 there come August. That's going to be able to get in the mix of things. I think this pig can do that.
Yeah, I'm pumped about this pedigree. Kind of finally got her to click, and here in this litter, and like you said, she could have used a shot of feature and bone, and that's what we get with Kong. But she was awesome skeletal from the beginning to the end, and I agree. I think this guy will be no question there. You're going to be able to kind of manage him and manipulate him up high and put about as much stuff as you can put with the feed bucket on this pig to get him right there at the end. And I do think he makes State Fair really well for me. That Midwest State Fair, kind of in that August window, is probably where he, to me, projects out at. This is 68-2 crossbore. 68-4 cross barrel. This is a Kong. Picture this rusty cage. Mom's the GNS gilt. We talked on that previous one that boys would have shown a couple times ago, and was 5th overall cross gilt in Indiana, and I got a piece of division there at Louisville.
Yeah, and again, this one, I think the pedigree makes sense. That gilt was very sharp looking. She was very, very correct in her build. And we take her to Kong to add just a shot more feature, and it's worked well. This thing, of all the ones that we've had out here, he's always wanted to follow the stick. He looks like a show bear to me. Very immature, but stout featured about his head and neck. He's moderate in his build and his proportions. And as you can see on the screen, he's got his mom's hip and hind leg. That thing can plant, flex, and reach. This one, again, I think is very versatile in terms of his show window. He's going to be a heavy D2 at Indy. This thing can go into September and October, I believe, as well, based on how he's built and based on his pedigree.
A little different than his mate that we talked about just earlier. I mean, this one's a little even boxier yet, a little bit more moderate, like Justin said. But I like this one a bunch, and I think this one hits you about as hard from a barrow standpoint as any. And just a fun one just to sit here and look. And the way he cats across, probably where we sort and I pick on a lot of these pigs is just how they use their hind leg and how much reach they have. This pig, he does that. I mean, he will absolutely go. You could see his rear foot as he leaves you, the way he plants. And then he's got all those kind of current relevant things in terms of hair and bone. And I'd have him pretty high on your list, 68-4. Kong, picture this. 69-4. This cross gilt is a mainline, wide awake, tricked out. We would have had her mate, mom would have had we would have looked at previously, but 15-12 back in there is the mama snap that, and she'd be a litter mate actually to 99 problems, but ties that into our good stuff here.
Yeah, this wasn't a huge litter, but the thing that's intriguing about this is, so Blake, this little gilt, his mother is a litter mate to the mom of the 52, so that are certainly a sale highlight. Hey, this one's a little greener in terms of body shape right now, but she has got some big limbs. She's got extra hair and feature it takes if you're going to be of that color to be able to compete. And again, I think one that's got a longer shelf life too. This thing's got a wild look ahead of her blade, but still has that added feature. A little greener in terms of her body, and I'll say, we've had quite a bit of traffic already through. We pictured yesterday. This one's maybe, as Nate said when she came in, it's not quite as full and robust. But study that one's chest, study that one's indicators in terms of feature, and then it's got a good hip and hind leg to go with it.
This one cocks off and gives you a heck of a look there from the side as well. I mean, with that added bone and hair that you need, especially at that color. And I tell you, there's going to be a lot of good options, I think, here. We're about halfway through the preview. A lot of gilts that I've starred. This one, because of her color, probably sorts down, and I would tell you that's the kind I I end up buying because they tend to be those that you maybe are a little more affordable, and if you're a budget shopper, I'd put this one very high on my list because she does have all those extras, and she may get overlooked by some. But very nice pig, 69-4 cross gilt. 81-1. This cross bore is an It's Time roll call timber. Young sow. This is a mate to Hagen's gilt that was supreme at Kansas City. That makes for the Ant to Outrage, PBG, Grand Gilded, or UIO. I don't. They won a bunch. That litter, the entire litter there. So
Very interesting pig. He's a pig that's fun to just try to analyze and discuss. You're not going to see many of them that look like this. This thing's like a little polar bear. Um, we talk about width. We talk about blade shape, big backs, and a ginormous hind leg. And with that hind leg, he's actually got angle. He's got angle to his hock and can reach. He's going to have some shelf life to him as well. Quite honestly, we didn't know if this pig needs to be a live sale pig, if he needs to go on our event, and we're committed to putting some of the very unique things and stuff. And this one's one of the more unique pigs that'll be in our offering there on Thursday. What's your thoughts, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't mention it, but I do think this pig should be in consideration from a boar standpoint because he does have. I mean, though that is wild pieces and extreme. And so, what I don't know what determines whether they're boar or not. I guess it's up to the boar stud. But I'd say he would definitely have those out there pieces. And like you said, he's not just like that huge-legged fuzzy one that can't move. This pig has a good skeleton, and he can use his feet and legs, both front and back.
Yeah, and I'll note we fought a little skin stuff on him coming out of the nursery. I think we're 99% of the way there on getting that cleaned up. But interesting pig here, 81-1.
82-3. This cross boar is an all-access, stay classy timber. Mom would have produced the It's Time boar there at Tanner Winters.
Yeah, and this has been a fun pig to watch progress here in this 82, sired by the popular all-access boar there at Moyers, and we use that boar pretty hard. And then his mom, as Blake said, would be It's Time's mom. And then so within this pedigree, there's a ton of stoutness of feature that's laid into this pedigree, and this pig represents that. He's got a big arm. He's got a very big hind leg. He's maybe pound for pound's got the most shape to his blade, and coming out of the backside of his blade, he's got a huge upper hip and stifle. Actually, and transparently, we pulled these two both out the other day just because they need to get woed up just a little bit. But very, very high upside, very high ceiling here in this 82-3.
Wow, this pig is extreme, right? I mean, width, and yet he handles it. That pig is broad from his forehead all the way back, and he's on that upper 1% in terms of width. If you like that and you like to kind of feed him that way, and that's what it takes, you got to push the envelope. You got to be out there, and that pig has those out there pieces. He'll have to be managed for sure, right? But that pig is going to have those extra pieces.
And I mean, those crossbears that Blake, that you and I have got along with, and our kids have a time or two, and I can name 2 or 3 of mine that started to look like this. Because body length and body proportions, you're going to be able to manage this pig just in terms of he needs fed slow, guys. I'll be honest. But the ones that have won for you and I at times at the highest levels have started like this. They're wide, they're big-bodied, they're heavy-boned, and then this pig I think's got a wild look ahead of his blade too to go with that.
That one's pretty out there, and I would say should be on your list. And if you like those big pieces that got a chance to win the whole thing, he's got that type. That's 82-3. We'll get started on the 83 litter. 83-2 we'll start with. That's a cross bore, unrivaled, buckle up, quite frankly, timber. And just a little bit on that sow. That mom came from S Squared, litter mate to Hang Tight, who has been very popular. She's the mom of the popular Holder the Gilt that showed there this fall, that was supreme at North American, reserve at Winter National. Chloe Kemp's gilt that was reserve cross gilt at Tulsa as well. And then I guess a mate here would have pigs in a different litter as well.
Yeah, these are these 72s from us squared. These are it goes back to our genetics there on the bottom side, and basically what happened is they bought a very very good gilt from us, and would have been
Hmm.
they bought one from us, and we ended up turning around and breeding buying two from them. And Nate owned one of them, Trace owns one, and we're darn glad sure we did because these are the two of our top five new young prospect sows. They've been getting it done. Um, each in their first couple litters. This one is the belted one of the two. There's one. The other one is a calico. This pig specifically, Showbara Deluxe, I think. Dark pigmented, dark skinned, very proportional, boxy in his build, big hind leg, square as he leaves you. And then he's got a killer barrel look in terms of his head. I love his head shape, his jaw shape, his ear set. This is a pig that we're pretty high on.
These unrivaled have been lights out, along with some of these, probably a standout sire here. I think on this sow in particular, it's an awesome combination. That pig, like Justin said, is I think he's still got the seeds in him, so certainly that option, right? But to me, I could see him as a barrow just being lights out there at the end. Really, really impressive way to start off the 83 litter, 83-2. 83-5, cross gilt, it's being unrivaled on one of those S squared, buckle up, quite frankly, timber sows.
Unrivaled certainly needs no introduction. Maybe as many boars are going in boar studs out of Unrivaled as any boar in the country right now. And then the bottom side of this gets us fired up. We own a pair of those buckle ups, which would be a litter mate to hang tight from Garrett Cox down there at S squared. He would, and then the bottom side of this, behind that's quite frankly timber from Trace. So he buys one from us, we buy two from him, and we're dang glad that we did because those sows have generated high dollar pigs. They've already generated winners. Those are two of our younger sows that we're building around. I like this guild a lot. This one, to me, kind of reads like her pedigree. I can see the quite
Hmm.
frankly timber in this skill. I can see the unrivaled in terms of added feature and hair, but yet boxy in her build. Very just has a different look and presence about her. I would say here in this Dash 5 gilt.
Yeah, big time. And we talked about some of these others, but there's four of these gilts they're going to sell, whether it's this sale or this weekend, and definitely worth coming to see and to kind of sort for yourself. If you ask us, we like them all, and they all have high quality. This one definitely, like Justice said, it's kind of got an extra little presence about her, a cocky look and awesome proportions. Very, very, very stout indicators. One we like, 83-5. So 83.6, cross guild, unrivaled, buckle up, quite frankly, timber. Another one of these 83s, Justin.
It's as Blake said, we're high on this pedigree. Would have sold Cox and Jay McCormick a gilt off the farm that was very, very elite and has done an awesome job for Garrett. We in turn buy two gilts back out of him. Again, both of them are have been generators for us here in the early stages of their career, and this is a gilt that we like a lot. Of these 83s, this one has huge feet, huge legs, maybe the most advanced in terms of stoutness and shape and muscle right now. Her center portion of her body just looks and screams like could be a generator to me. And again, I think a very good show gilt, but a tremendous style prospect here as well.
Yeah, we talk about that. I mean, this one certainly is going to be, to me, a competitive show gilt. And like you said, Justin, I think if you are looking for that dual purpose, one that can show and be successful, but could be set back in as a sow, I'd have this one really high on my list. It comes from, I mean, an incredibly consistent, generating young and still young, relevant pedigree. That's very current. You could set in here and be pretty excited about having an unrivaled back on one of those mates to hang tight that I don't know if you could get much better to lay there on a pedigree. So really impressive litter here. This gilt in particular is one we like a bunch, 83-6. Next up, 83-7 cross gilt would be an unrivaled buckle up, quite frankly, timber. And we talked before, this is one of those S squared sows that has been really good for us.
Yeah, we sold Garrett and Jay a gilt there quite a few years ago. Quite frankly, that goes back to Nate's, and then we in turn we the next season we bought two of them out of there. So it'd be a litter mate to hang tight, as Blake said. And these 72s, we got a pair of them. These are two of our young, most progressive sows that are moving towards the tops of the ranks very quickly. Their previous litters, both of them have been very good. They not only produce high dollar baby pigs, but the pigs have fed out of those sows very well. This gilt is a cocky little show rig, I think, and unique color pattern. Combines that color pattern with added look and extension. And again, we've talked maturity pattern on a lot of these. That one is going to get just very, very good as the days go on here. And I think Show Gill Supreme, if you want something that has some high ROI just in terms of resale value or to put in your herd, that one's going to be able to do it.
So we would have taken on our first litter there a pig to top shelf that ended up being the holder of the gilt that won all those shows
Yep.
this fall.
Yep.
I mean, Nate and I were there. I would say this one resembles that one about to a T. As a baby pig, when she sold at top shelf, I mean, that's the kind that one looked like. And I'm really excited about these 83s and what they can do. And we've got 4 of these gilts in the sale. This one's got to be right there in discussion as one of our favorites. That's 83-7 cross gilt. All right, finishing up with the 83s here with 83-9 cross gilt. She's an unrivaled buckle up, quite frankly, timber, and we talked about it in some of these previous ones, but came from S squared, made to hang tight, been kicking them out for us. So.
Yeah, one of our best new young sows. There's a pair of those mates. Nate owns one, and then Trace owns one, and we're glad we bought those. These pigs have been very impressive in multiple litters now. Unrivaled certainly needs no introduction, and I would say this was a very deep litter. We're going to end up offering 4 of these gilts through the sales from Trace clear down to Winning Tradition Sweethearts. I think a unique opportunity. Show Gilt Supreme, but if you want to get into some of our new stuff that combines the old Trace stuff, but with some of S squared stuff and being a litter mate to hang tight in there, I think is very good. This is a gilt we've been high on, boxy inner build, proportional, and yet has got a very long shelf life here in this belted gilt.
Really nice one here as we finish up these, and we've liked a lot of them. I don't know. We get through them here. We'll kind of have to cuss and discuss which one we prefer out of this litter. But this one, to me, hits me very hard. That is a stout skull. Indicators are really good here that this one will stay stout and feed for a while. And I think has that type that can be ready early even though she's not extra muscle. I think that one still stands out and could have you could hit a lot of shows with this one if you're a show family that wants to do that, and then she could last you for way on. So big time, and she's finally kind of cocking off for us here, but definitely one to come see in person and sort through these 83 litter gilts yourself if you can. This one definitely high on the list, 83-9. All right, so we start off these 84 reds, and this 84-1 Duroc Boar is a dagger 312 statement day. One that's kind of just getting rolling. We really, the statement day grandma, I guess, would be a litter mate to Hartzell's Reserve Grand overall gilt there at the Indiana State Fair a few years ago.
Yeah, this would be a red bear that I'd like to feed for my kids in terms of type, pattern, and build. one that again is proportional in his length of body, but still immature about his head and neck. He's always going to be able to be a tall shoulder bearer that's extended, but with that, I think his feet read big
Mm-hmm.
enough and genuine enough. He's got a very loose hip and hind leg, and again, he's proportional in his look. This thing's still got some shape out of the backside of his blade. He's very, very impressive as he goes away in terms of using that hip and hind leg. He's a big stifle bear. I think a red bear that could be awful competitive midsummer.
Yeah, we have love these daggers, and they have not fed. They've won shows. From a Barra standpoint, I think on a sire, I'd have him very, very high. And then, like Justin said, he still has some shape. And for our stuff though, what you're going to get from us are going to be greener, feedable reds. They won't be the most live sale, ripped up stuff. And for us, that's what you need to win. And at the end, you won't win the pig sale, but you're going to win when it matters. And this pig, as Justin said, I love his view when he kind of cats across there, the way he can use both ends of his skeleton with added reach. Really good pig here in 84-1. So 84-5, this Duroc Gilt by Dagger on Wintex 312 Statement Day, and that Graham Mall we talked about on the previous one there would have been one Hartzell showed that was reserve grand overall there at Indiana a few times ago. Here in the 84-5.
Yeah, and it's been split committee, honestly, between the Trace guys, and it's been split committee between the visitors on which one of these they like better. I would say this Dash 5 is probably a half rib shorter, maybe, a little more boxy in her overall build, but both of them have got a wild, wild look. Both of them, I think, as Blake alluded to before, we're not going to raise them where they're going to be quick and bunchy early. Generally, ours are very tall shouldered. They're good looking. They got a good hip and hind leg, and then ones that can get to those heavier weights come midsummer. So, split committee on which one's better out of Dash 5 or Dash 6, but I think both of them phenotypically and pedigree wise have a lot to offer.
Yeah, I think similar pigs. The two gilts here. This one's a little darker cherry type color. Similar in kind of their build design, like Justin. Maybe this one's a half rib shorter. I'd call it close, and then like you said, a lot of confidence in these daggers, and I think if you're hunting for a purebred, that you need one for those summer shows, need one for Indiana. This one I'd say should definitely be on the list. 84-5 Duroc Gilt. 84-6. This Duroc Gilt is a dagger. Wintex 312 Statement Day. That Statement Day, Grandma is a litter mate to Hartzell's Reserve Grand at Indiana a few years ago.
Yeah, we've used Dagger now, I think, almost 3 seasons, and we like those pigs because he will add just that sharpness of look. He'll add shape and spread up high, but puts them in the right maturity pattern. They're not going to be these quick, bloomy ones that dink out and that your feeder pigging here in another 60, 70 days. These things are built for the long haul and the big ring, and this gilt does that extremely well. Tall-shouldered, wild, wild looking, feminine in her design, good in her body shape. And this thing's going to have a big back, Blake.
Yeah.
She's big through the center portion of her back, still got an upper hip and stifle. And then you set these daggers into motion that can use their hip and hind leg.
Yeah, there's a pair of these 84 litter gilts we're going to offer, and from red pigs are always have an advantage, I think, in terms of from a purebred standpoint. They can play with crosses just like her grandma did, and win at the highest levels. And for us, we like these daggers about as well as anything. And we kind of revamped a little bit on these reds, and I'd say that this one's a heck of a way to get rolling, and a lot of confidence here and what this one can do out of dagger. 84 litter pig. 85-2. This cross gilt is a stone cold driving force trick daddy. Mom of this one was pretty special. We are excited to get her bred and get her set back in, but came from a really deep litter. She herself, Gentry showed there at State Fair, champion heavy. No?
Mm-hmm. Litter mate was.
Oh, litter mate. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the mate. Yeah, mate to that one. But came from that 5 litter that was extremely extremely high quality.
Yeah, one of the most, to me, one of the most interesting pedigrees and of any gilt. So we're going to offer in this sale. The Stone Cold's True would have raised that boar would have been $140,000 boar, I think. There at PT, it goes back to our Badger sow that was out of 3510. So kind of some of our blood on the top side, and then as Blake said, that 5 litter last year was a very good litter. They sold well. But those pigs fed. This is one of the more intriguing ones. Quite honestly, I don't know that we need to really be selling this gilt because I think her value. She's going to have an awesome show career, but I think her value is going to be later on in
Yeah.
life, and this one could make an impact for a lot of people very quick. I think there's a long rap sheet in terms of pedigree and story here.
And both on top and bottom,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Stone Cold will be the true boar that sold their PTs. Pigs have been really good, and that came from the mom would have came from us, and then lined up there, I guess stacked on both sides, as good as we can do. This pig herself is a little maybe greener, a little more
Mm-hmm.
immature, but I don't think that means she's going to stay that way. In fact, I like where she's at, kind of in terms of maturity and how she's positioned to be a good feeder. This pig's got all the stuff, right? Pedigree, look, everything. High, we'd have her really high on our list here in 85-2. So this is 87-2. This cross barrel is an all access 19-liter woke on the timber sow, and so came from a very very deep litter there last year, and then ties back to that timber sow of Nate's that's just been on a killer generator for us.
Yeah, this 19 litter was awesome last year, and one of those gilts. We offered a pair of them,
Hmm.
and so this is the one that Kyle bought and decided to put back here. And she did not have a huge litter, but I think uh, I like this pig. This is a Show Barra Deluxe. Blake would have showed the other one
Hmm.
that's also now here at Trace. She was reserve, I think D4 there.
Hmm.
I don't know how many jackpots she got a piece of, 7 or 8 of them, I think. So this is a good pig, sired by All Access, and then coming out of a very good litter of pigs. A sow that didn't have a bunch of them here in her first litter, but we're anxious to breed on going forward and get past. Whether you love or hate this pig's color pattern, you get past that. This is a very immature pig.
Hmm.
Um, that I promise you, he is just going to get hairier. He's going to get stouter. He's going to get denser, and he's got a sweet, sweet look from the side there.
He does, and I like his color. I mean that black is kind of
Mm-hmm.
positioned differently than he's not the traditional
Yep.
target rear end deal. So I think it actually is pretty intriguing. And then just like Justin said, I was going to say the same thing. I mean those 19s were good, but then they got really good, and they came with bone, they came with hair. I really like how this pig is set up, and to me, his maturity, he's spot on. And then he poses up there and gives you just an absolute killer look from the side. So, really intriguing one here, 87-2. Hey, we want to thank you for tuning in here to Trace the Sale. I'm Blake Everhart here, and along with Justin, we just got done videoing them, and we think we've got a heck of a set for you. Justin, you want to give a little detail?
Yeah, so our Trace's live sale will be Trace only. It'll be Thursday night, and the sale time is going to be 8 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Central on CCI. We will be in Lebanon for the sale, but there will be we won't take any of our pigs there for the Trace live sale. They'll still be here at the barn, so the pigs will not be there, but we will sell them on picture down there. Kevin Wynn, of course, the best in the business, will be auctioneering our sale. And we'll have a meal that'll be there at about 6:45 Eastern time, and then we'll start there. We got about 50 head, consisting of crosses and Durocs, both bears and gilts, and I think that we do have a boar pig or two that is rather interesting to look at. So those will be. We'll kick off the big weekend in Lebanon. It'll be Thursday night, the 12th of February. We'll start right there at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on CCI. And then preceding us, there'll be a full week of activities down there with the Sweethearts and the Coalition Group, along with the goat sales.
Yeah, and just maybe add a couple things just to say that this is the event, our big event,
Yep.
and we take it extremely seriously. So, from a standpoint of trying to group up our better sows, get them mated right, we target this event, and and then we call hard. I think, like Justin said, we're going to have about 50 head represented. These will be what we consider all these pigs could fit, from jackpots to expo to those summer shows in the state fair, and then there's a few pigs that are going to stretch and be able to be fed into the fall. So there's kind of a wide array, but in terms of quality, these are about as best as we can do. We're very proud of the set of pigs. We just got done going through them, and I think it's very, very deep. So,
Yeah, and we'll have preview times. There'll be one preview every night here, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then we'll preview at 2 o'clock on Thursday so we can get our guys down to the start of the sale. So if we can help you in any way, please reach out. And as Blake said, we'll have about 50 head to sell there on Thursday night to kick off a big weekend in Lebanon.
thank you.